What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the A24 Archive. This is the segment on my channel where I started from the very first film in A24's catalog and am moving my way through the entirety of the films that they've produced. They have a lot of films in their catalog, a lot of things for me to watch, and that's exciting for me because I get to watch a lot of films that have either been on my list for a while or ones that I never would have even considered watching. The film today is one that has been on my list for quite some time now, and the reason being for that is the incredible cast in this movie. And I've heard a lot of mixed things about it, and I was really looking forward to jump in and watch this film, and I can 100% say that this movie is completely my jam. And the movie I'm going to be talking about today is A Most Violent Year. A Most Violent Year is directed by J.C. Chandor. Thriller set in New York City during the winter of 1981, statistically one of the most violent years in the city's history, and centered on the lives of an immigrant and his family trying to expand their business and capitalize on opportunities as the rampant violence, decay, and corruption of the day drag them in and threaten to destroy all they have built. So I had no idea what to expect going into this film other than it was like a sort of noirish crime thriller, and it was just absolutely fantastic. I wasn't even aware of what the plot was until I jumped in, and it's really sort of simplistic. You have Oscar Isaac as our lead character, Abel, who runs this company that transports oil, and all of these companies exist in New York City that also do the same thing. And so he's running this business, and he co-owns the business with his wife, played by Jessica Chastain. She runs the books for the company, and she makes sure everything's up to par, and you can tell it's not ever explicitly said, but they don't do everything by the book. Oscar Isaac takes a lot of pride in what he does, and I feel like they have kind of been pushed into a situation where they do what they have to survive. And so they're in this process right now where there's this place that they're trying to purchase through this group of Jewish men who own it, that it's a facility that if they put their oil business out there, it's right on the water to where oil companies can drop oil directly off to them, and that they can finally build their business to the point where they've been working on it for years and years and years. And so the film is these random people, one of them played by Christopher Abbott, start attacking their truck drivers and stealing these trucks of oil from them, making it more difficult because there's this question of whether or not the driver should be able to arm themselves with guns to protect themselves, and they're being investigated by the police because they think that they've been operating illegally, even though Oscar Isaac is very adamant that they do everything by the book and that he takes a lot of integrity in his work. And so the film really is just Oscar Isaac trying to clear his name and doing everything that he can to try to figure out who amidst these people that also run these oil companies is scamming him and trying to make sure that he doesn't succeed, because it's clear that he operates his business in a place of integrity despite some of the things that are implied that they do that are really seedy. So that's really the general premise to the film. But what's so fantastic about this, and I'm a really big sucker for these types of films, is this idea of intimate character drama, because this movie is not like crime thrillers or like suspense thrillers that you're used to. There's violence in this film, but it's very subdued to where it's only introduced when it necessarily has to be in the film to convey a very specific tone. Most of the film is dialogue between characters, and it's very heated dialogue, and it's really on the shoulders of Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain, who both 1000% deliver in this film. They are so incredible. Their chemistry together as this husband and wife couple who have clearly been working for years and years to build this empire, and then kind of just the back and forth between them of like they have their good moments and their bad moments. Jessica Chastain is trying to support Oscar Isaac as much as she can to make sure that their business can succeed because they have kids. They just bought this new house, and it's implied how successful their business is getting to where you can see sort of through the other oil companies that they're getting a little scared of Oscar Oscar Isaac and how he's succeeding. And there's this really great scene of like him teaching his salespeople how to do a successful sale and all of the different things that you do to kind of win over their business, because he makes a comment of, we're never going to be the cheapest option, but we need to be the best option. And there's so many great lines of dialogue, and this film all ties into this misconception of whatever the American dream is, because Oscar Isaac's character is an immigrant who comes to the United States to make something for himself, and you're already seeing him in this position where he's made a lot of himself, but the struggles that he's still going through to get this so-called American dream. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have this young Hispanic man who works for him, who he's barely scraping by, and he ends up at the beginning of the film getting attacked and hospitalized for just trying to drive a truck and go from one place to another, and he ends up coming back to work and getting attacked again, and it sort of sends his life down this spiral of he wants the same thing that Oscar Isaac's character wants, which is being someone who's not from this country but coming here and trying to make something of their life and make their impact on the world and do the best that they can to support their families, and how, you know, both of them are going through different struggles at different periods in their lives, but for one it's seemingly much more difficult and much more impossible to get where they need to go. And it's a really fascinating dichotomy between those characters, and it's really hard-hitting, and the third act of this film is absolutely insane and unrelenting, and I thought it was just some really brilliant character writing. And it's not like the most in-your-face suspenseful movie, but it's gripping. And when you have a film that has really great dialogue, it's not hard to get super invested and excited about every individual thing that's occurring. And this movie really just surprised me. It has beautiful cinematography. This movie looks great, fantastic score that's utilized only when it needs to be. And there's so many great moments, and I just was really impressed with this movie overall. It's definitely one of the stronger films in A24's catalog that I've watched so far. It's not my favorite. I still think there's some moments in it that could have been trimmed down. This is a little over a 2-hour runtime, and although I was invested through most of it, there was a couple periods where I was like, okay, we're getting a little bit of the same, but that's not enough for me to take away from the fact that this movie was a fantastic experience, and I really look forward to watching this film again. So if you seen A Most Violent Year? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was fantastic. Brilliant character writing, some great performances, and some beautiful cinematography. As always, if you can leave me a comment down below and subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. Liking the videos lets me know the type of material you guys want to watch. Do you like these A24 archive videos? Do you like the rank lists that I've been doing? What type of material would you like me to continue putting out? I'm really just having fun kind of doing whatever I want, and I love hearing from you, letting me know what you'd like to see me review. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.